Hello students, in this video we will see the solution of question number 54 in which P, Q are the old partners and R is a new partner. So as you can see in the adjustment that R is coming for 1/5 share, which means 4/5 is the remaining portion, isn't it? So this 4/5 will be shared between P and Q as per their old ratio. So the old ratio is 7:3, which means 7 by 10 and 3 by 10. So this remaining portion of R, that is 4 by 5, will be shared between P and Q as per their old ratio. This 4 by 5 is the remaining share and 7:3, as you can see here. And we are multiplying both numerator and denominator by 10, so that the denominator of all the partners becomes equal. So as you can see here, we have the new ratio 14 is to 6 to 5, and sacrificing ratio can be calculated using the formula, and you will know it very well. So let us move on to the revaluation account. But before we move on to the revaluation account, it should be noted that total goodwill of the firm is 2 lakh rupees. Okay, and R is coming for 1/5 share. So our share of goodwill will be 40,000. This 40,000 goodwill will be shared between P and Q as per their sacrificing ratio, as you can see here, which we have calculated. Okay, so let us prepare revaluation account. Now, for this, we need to look at the adjustment. So, adjustment number 4 says that provision for bad debts was to be raised at 4% of debtors, which means this line, was to be raised to 4% of debtors, which means the provision for bad debts is already existing. So you have to look at the balance sheet now. In the balance sheet asset column, the debtors amount is 20,000, and the provision is already existing, which is 500. Okay, so we have to calculate the provision 4% of 20,000. Whenever we calculate the provision, we have to calculate on the original value of the debtors. Okay, remember this amount. We never calculate the provision on 19,500. Okay, because this 19,500 is the subtracted value which we are getting after subtracting this provision. So we have to calculate this provision for bad debts on debtors in their original value, which is 20,000. So 40% of 20,000 will be how much? It will be 800, isn't it? Out of 800, 500 is already prepared, isn't it? So we have to make only 300 rupees extra. So this 300 is debited here, because we know that whenever the provision is increasing, we have to put it in the debit column. Here the provision for bad debts is increasing by 300 rupees. That is why we have to include in the debit column of revaluation account. Now let us move on to the fifth adjustment, that is stock is to be depreciated by 5%. So we have to calculate 5% of the date of the stock, that which is 30,000, isn't it? So 30,000 into 5%, how much it will be? It will be 1,500. So the stock, which is asset, so the asset is decreasing here, decreasing, that is D, decreasing, D, debit side. Okay, so the asset is decreasing, which means we have to put it in the debit column. So amount is 1,500. Now land was to be appreciated by 10%. So the amount of land is 1 lakh rupees. So 10% of 1 lakh will be 10,000 rupees. Here the asset is increasing. Okay, so whenever the asset is increasing, we have to keep it in the credit side. So as you can see here in the credit column, 10,000 is written here. So after writing these three items, no more adjustment is there. General reserve will not come here in the revaluation account, because we should be knowing that general reserve is an accumulated profit. So it is a different thing which we have to do the adjustment through capital account itself. So after writing these three items, land 10,000, provision for bad debts 300, and stock 1500, we have to now find the profit or loss on revaluation. So the credit side is bigger here because this is 10,000 and the total of debit column is only 1800 rupees. So the balance of 8200 will appear in the debit column. Okay, this 8200 is the profit on revaluation. This profit on revaluation should be shared between P and Q as per the old ratio, okay, which is 7 by 10 and 3 by 10. I hope you know by now that the profit or loss on revaluation will be shared between P and Q as per their old ratio. Okay. Now, before we move on to the capital account, we have to look at this adjustment number 7. General reserve account was to be continued. So whenever the liability is being continued, liability or assets, okay, till now we have not seen any asset being continued. So if the liability is being continued, if any liability, okay, so out of that liability, the new partner will also get his share. As you can see here in the next slide, that general reserve has been continued. Okay, so the amount of general reserve is 10,000 rupees, and the new partner, which is R is being admitted for 1/5 share. So R will also get some portion, that is 1/5 of 10,000 rupees. So the R share on general reserve will be how much? 2,000. 10,000 into 1 by 5. This 10,000 is the amount of general reserve, and this 1/5 is the profit sharing ratio of R. You can pause the video and you can read whatever has been written here. So this amount, this 2,000, which we have calculated just now here, this 2,000 has to be credited to the sacrificing partners, which are P and Q, as per their sacrificing ratio. Okay, the amount of rupees 2,000 is to be credited to the capital accounts of the sacrificing partners, which are P and Q, as per their sacrificing ratio, which is 7:3, which we have calculated just now. And by the same amount of rupees 2,000, okay, R's capital account will be debited. We will see this effect in the capital account. I hope we have done this kind of problem before also. So maybe it was question number 50, 51. I don't remember now. So you can check the same this same kind of adjustment we have done before also. uh, in that question there was two items. Okay, one was general reserve and the other one was, I don't remember, but there were two items which was to be continued. The same way, in this question there is only one item, which is general reserve, which has been continued. Okay, now let us proceed to the capital account. In this question, if you have a look at this point number 2, adjustment number 2, R's loan will be converted into his capital account. So the R's loan is already appearing in the liabilities column of the balance sheet, which is 80,000 rupees. Okay, this loan was provided by R to the partnership firm, to the uh, old partnership in which P and Q were the partners. Okay, R had provided loan of rupees 80,000. The same loan, okay, the very loan will be transferred to his capital account, which means, as you can see here, by R's loan account, 80,000 rupees. In other kind of questions, we used to write here by cash or by bank, because the new partner was supposed to bring in his amount of capital. But in this question, the existing loan account of the partner, that is R, is to be transferred to his capital account. And you know this very well. By balance BD, we have extracted from the balance sheet given. And uh, previously, we have calculated the amount of goodwill also. This R share of goodwill. Okay, this R share of goodwill we have calculated before, which is 40,000. This 40,000 is to be shared between P and Q as per their sacrificing ratio. So the sacrificing ratio is 7 is to 3. So we can see here this premium for goodwill will be shared between P and Q as per the sacrificing ratio. Uh, Regarding this premium for goodwill, there is the information uh, you can see in the point number 3. The goodwill of the firm was valued at rupees 2 lakh and R brought the share of goodwill premium in cash. So he is bringing the amount of premium for goodwill. That is why we are writing here by premium for goodwill. Okay. If he was not bringing, okay, if he was unable to bring in his amount of goodwill, then we would write here by R's current account. Okay. Or sometimes we do this kind of adjustment through capital account also. We are free to do that. But normally we maintain the this adjustment through current account. Okay, but sometimes in the question it will be mentioned that you have to adjust through capital account itself, then you have to follow the question. But if nothing is mentioned, then it will be current account. But in this particular question, since R is bringing his amount of premium for goodwill, we write by premium for goodwill, and this will be shared between P and Q as per the sacrificing ratio. Now, previously we had done this kind of adjustment, isn't it? This amount of rupees 1400 and 1600 is to be credited to the capital accounts of P and Q, isn't it? So now the very amount will be now credited here in the accounts of P and Q, and this will be adjusted through the capital account. As you can see here, I have mentioned that this kind of adjustment will be adjusted through capital account. Okay, so we write by R's capital account 1400 and 600 we have calculated already. Okay, remember that we have done this kind of adjustment before also. Okay, so we write by R's capital account 1400 and 600. Previously we have found the profit on revaluation also. As you can see here, P 5740 rupees, Q 2460. So we write the amounts in the credit side because it is a profit on revaluation. If it was loss on revaluation, we would write in the debit side. So by revaluation account, 5740, 2460 for P and Q respectively. Instead of writing in sometimes we can write by profit on revaluation also directly. Uh, okay. Anyway, so let us do the total now. Okay, P and Q, and for this adjustment 1400 and 600. Okay, the total amount is 2000 rupees, isn't it? So this 2000 is to be now debited to the capital account of R. So we will now debit this amount here to P's capital account 1400, to Q's account to Q's capital account 600. We cannot write the amount directly 2000 rupees because this 2000 is the total amount which has been distributed between P and Q as per their sacrificing ratio, which is 1400 and 600. So we have to show individually. Okay, R is giving 1400 to P. So whenever the this partner R, he gives his portion to P, his account will be debited by 1400. Okay, similarly with Q, this adjustment will be passed on. Okay, so the balance You know how to get the balance, isn't it? Still, if you have not understood, you can restart the video or restart from this explanation of partners capital account. Or if you have more questions, you know what to do. You have to ask me, isn't it? Because this online class teaching and real class teaching is quite different. Anyway, uh, balance sheet. As you already know that we have to follow the balance sheet which is given in the question itself. The cash balance you can see here is already 15,500. Okay, and in this question, R is not bringing his share of capital, isn't it? Point number 3 explains the same because the oh sorry, point number 2, because the loan account was transferred to his capital account, so he is only bringing the amount of premium for goodwill. Okay, so cash is already 15,500 plus the premium for goodwill which R is bringing 40,000. Total will be 55,500. So debtors will be 20,000 as you can see here, and the provision that is to be subtracted will be 800, because previously we have calculated. You can check point number 4. uh, Provision is to be raised to 4% of the debtors. So the debtors amount is how much? 20,000. So 4% of 20,000 will be how much? 800, isn't it? And we have done this adjustment in the revaluation account itself. 500 was already existing. So we created extra 300 rupees. So 500 plus 300, how much it is? It will be 800. Okay. So we do the subtraction. Okay, 19,200. You have to draw this kind of line. Otherwise, it will be a bit uh, confusing and it looks very immature. Okay, so after that, we write bills receivable. There is no adjustment for the bills receivable, so we write the amount directly. And stock is depreciated by 1500. You can see in the revaluation account, debit column, stock is being depreciated by 1500 rupees. So 30,000 minus 1500 will be the amount. Yes, you can see here on the screen. Okay, after that we write building. There is no adjustment for the building. You can check the revaluation account one more time. There is no adjustment for the building, so we write the amount directly. But the land is being appreciated by 10,000 rupees, isn't it? So land has to be appreciated by rupees 10,000, so it will be 1 lakh 10,000. I'm sorry, I it seems that I have forgotten to draw this line. Please draw it here. Okay, drawing this line, it means that we are performing a mathematical operation. Okay, the basic mathematical operation, which is addition and subtraction, excluding multiplication and division. Okay, so you have to draw a line here. 1 lakh plus 10,000. Okay, draw this line, so it becomes 1 lakh 10,000 rupees. Okay, so now about the creditors, there is no information, so write the amount directly. In fact, there was no information uh, for the liabilities item in the revaluation account, so we can proceed as it is. Creditors 10,000, bills payable 15,000. Regarding general reserve, there is an adjustment. Uh, Point number 7. This has to be continued, isn't it? So for this continuation of general reserve, we have already done this kind of adjustment here, as you can see here in this slide on your screen, that we have done this kind of adjustment in the capital account. So this general reserve is to be continued, and the capital accounts of partners are to be extracted from the capital accounts of partners which we have prepared just now. This balance CD is the balance, okay, of the partner's capital. uh, Total will be 3 lakh 63,000 200 rupees, as you can see here. But if you turn the pages and look at the solution, it is something different, isn't it? It is how much? It is 3,64,000 rupees. So I will tell you now what the authors might have done. Obviously, they have done so. We can do that way, but it is up to you. Okay, you can follow this pattern or do the other way. I will show you the next balance sheet. It is up to you. Okay, in the examination time, whether you can uh, make provision separately in the liabilities column of the balance sheet, but it is advisable that this provision is to be subtracted, because the assets and liabilities are to be revalued and reassessed on admission of a new partner. So it is advisable to do this kind of adjustment. However, uh, it is up to you to follow. So how we get this answer, which is mentioned in the book? If you want the book answer, okay. If you want the book answer, I'm not saying that this is correct and this is incorrect. Both are correct from their standpoints, but it is up to you. I said just now whether you can uh, whether you want to follow this one or the other one. It is up to you. You can follow any. Okay, how do we get this balance sheet total 3,64,000 this way? The daters, as you can see here, have a look properly here. Okay, daters amount is 20,000. You write the amount directly without subtracting provision for bad debts. And the provision for bad debts, which is a liability, can appear in the liabilities column of the balance sheet. That is 800 rupees. I have highlighted with this with red color here. Okay, so that you can understand clearly that debtors are written in the asset column, and this provision is written in the liability side. 800 rupees, 3,64,000. As you can see here in this balance, 363,200, 800 is the deficit, isn't it? There is a shortage of 800 rupees. So this is actually the shortage, which is 800. Okay, if you pull this 800 here, then you will get the answer which is prescribed in the book. So it is up to you now whether you want to do this way or do this way. It is up to you. If there is any question regarding this making of balance sheet or any confusion, okay, you can still contact me, or if you want, I can re-explain. Thank you.